Welcome back to WoundCasters by Wound Care Today. I'm your host, Felix Boecker, and today we are tackling a concept that at first glance seems to have nothing to do with medicine at all. It's a lesson about humility, hard work, and the things we are asked to do that we feel are beneath us. It's the story of the frog float, and we're going to explore what that means for every single one of us in chronic wound care. The story, of course, comes from Admiral William McRaven, the former commander of all U.S. Special Operations Forces, and a man who knows a thing or two about leadership. In his book, The Wisdom of the Bullfrog, he recalls his time as a young officer receiving notice of an unwanted mission. McRaven is a decorated naval officer with a strong sense of his own status and ability. So when his boss gave him his very first mission, he was ready. He was prepared for a covert operation, a test of his physical prowess, or a challenge to his tactical mind. But instead, his first mission was to build a frog float for a July 4th parade. A frog float. The task was menial, frustrating, and in his mind, completely beneath him. He was a Navy SEAL after all, and he was being asked to build a parade float. His ego rebelled. He complained. He did not understand the purpose of this seemingly ridiculous assignment. But the intentions were not what they seemed. They weren't just looking for someone who could build a float. They were looking for something far more important. They were testing his willingness to accept a task, no matter how small or menial, and to do it to the absolute best of his ability. They were looking for humility and discipline in the face of what he considered a humiliating job. In the end, it wasn't about the float. It was about the attitude and the willingness to do the little things well. So, what does the frog float have to do with chronic wound care? In wound care, we also have our own frog floats. These are the small, often overlooked tasks that seem beneath our status, our degree, or our job title. We may have a doctorate, a master's degree, or some special certification, and yet we find ourselves doing tasks that feel, well, menial. So what does a frog float look like in your practice? It's the moment after a messy debridement when you could walk away and leave the cleanup for the next person. It's staying late to meticulously document a complex chart instead of rushing home. It's patiently spending 20 minutes on the phone with an insurance company. It's a physician taking a moment to help a patient put their shoes on. In the moment, these tasks can feel like a waste of our time. They can make our egos flare up and tempt us to delegate them or do them with a less than stellar attitude. But just like McRaven's parade float, our patients and our teammates are watching. They're measuring our character, not by our ability to perform a complex procedure, but by our willingness to do the small things with diligence and care. The story of the frog float can teach all of us some valuable lessons. So here they are. Number 1, be humble in your demeanor and your expectations. Ego is a liability in wound care. A leader who believes a task is beneath them creates a ripple effect of inefficiency and disrespect throughout the clinic. When you refuse to get your hands dirty, you're not just avoiding a task. You're sending a message that certain work is less valuable. This can lead to resentment and a breakdown in teamwork. Humility, on the other hand, is the antidote. Now, this isn't just a feel-good philosophy. It's a practical approach to building a better practice. It allows you to recognize that every task, no matter how small, contributes to the patient's well-being. For example, the simple act of helping to clean a room shows respect for your staff and the next patient. It demonstrates that you believe in a shared responsibility for a clean and efficient environment. It demonstrates that you are a part of the team. When a leader operates with a hands-off mentality, it's easy for the team to become siloed and for morale to plummet. A physician who won't assist with stocking supplies, for example, is telling their staff that this task is not their problem. This can lead to a breakdown in clinic flow when supplies are low. The message is clear. My time is more valuable than your time. This breeds resentment and erodes the trust that is essential for a high-performing team. And in a high-stakes field like wound care, where every detail matters, a fragmented team is a dangerous team. And ultimately, it is the patient that pays the price. Humility is a practical tool for leadership. It allows you to connect with your team on a deeper level and earn their respect. Number 2, accept that you will be asked to do jobs that are beneath your status. This is the central lesson of the frog float. In wound care, you will be asked to do things that you feel are not your job. A physician might need to help transport a patient, or a front desk staff member might be asked to help with a clinical task. The mark of a true professional is the ability to accept these assignments without complaint and execute them to the best of their ability. So how do you embrace such a mission mindset? Admiral McRaven's frog float story teaches us that true professionals see every task as part of a larger mission. For a wound care professional, that mission is the patient's healing. A perfectly applied dressing isn't just a clinical act, it's a testament to your commitment to quality care. A clean and well-stocked room isn't just for aesthetics, it's the foundation for a professional and welcoming environment. By approaching these seemingly menial tasks with excellence, you are proving that your commitment to quality is absolute, regardless of the job. You're demonstrating that no task is too small or beneath you if it contributes to the patient's outcomes. This mindset transforms a chore into a mission and elevates your practice from a series of tasks to a cohesive effort. And there is a domino effect to excellence. When you and your team embrace this philosophy, it creates a powerful domino effect. When a physician helps a patient with their shoes, or a medical assistant helps with a dressing change, it sends a clear message. We are all in this together. This shared commitment to excellence in the small things builds the trust and efficiency needed for the big things. It's the difference between a team that just goes through the motions and a team that is genuinely invested in every aspect of the patient's care. The result is a more resilient, respectful, and effective practice that consistently delivers the best possible outcomes. And number 3, the strength of your employees is measured by their willingness to do the little tasks and do them well. As a leader, one of your most important jobs is to identify and nurture a strong team. The best way to do that is to watch how they handle their own frog floats. The employee who meticulously cleans up after a messy procedure without being asked, or who patiently helps a patient with a small task, is an invaluable asset. Their actions signal a strong work ethic, a team-oriented mindset, and a deep commitment to patient care. The willingness to take on the seemingly menial task is a powerful measure of an employee's character and true dedication. It's easy for someone to perform well when they know they're being watched or when the task is high profile. No, the real test is in the quiet moments, the moments when no one is looking. A team member who sees a need and fills it, whether it's restocking a supply cabinet or reassuring a nervous patient, demonstrates a level of initiative and investment that cannot be taught. Their actions show that they are not just working for a paycheck. They're working for the mission of the clinic and the well-being of the patient. This is the quality you want to look for in a new hire and the behavior you should consistently reward in your existing team. This is the kind of employee you want to build your practice around. Their attitude is contagious and helps to create a clinic culture of shared responsibility and excellence. It's a measure of their character that will have a direct impact on the success of your practice. When your entire team embraces the frog float philosophy, it creates a powerful ripple effect. It builds a culture of excellence, mutual respect, and trust. When everyone is willing to do the small things, the big things become much easier. The patient sees a unified, committed team, and that translates directly into better outcomes and a more positive experience. This is how you build a resilient and thriving practice, one small task at a time. In the end, the frog float isn't about the task itself. It's a test of character. And in wound care, true leadership and excellence are demonstrated not in the big wins or the complex procedures, but in the small, everyday tasks that we do without hesitation and with full commitment. So I challenge you, what is your frog float today, and how are you going to tackle it? And with all that, thank you again for joining me on WoundCasters by Wound Care today. If there are any particular topics you want to hear about or guests you would like to see on the show, reach out and contact us. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review so others can find this content more easily. And if you like this particular episode, please share it with a friend. And as always, be sure to tune in next time as we explore yet another vital aspect of the challenging and rewarding field of chronic wound care. Ciao.